Unico Williams. That's right, it's your boy! Coming to you again on Thursdays as I love to do, because that's my favorite day of the week. Why? Well, I was born on a Thursday, 11:47 a.m. Woo! Back with another one. I'm so happy to be here with you again. We are in the middle of election week, but before we get into the show, we got to give a big shout out to my main man, Mike Wynn. We did our thing. We went down there to Covington, Kentucky, / downtown Cincinnati, right off the river. We was right off the river. It was beautiful. Yeah, had a great time. And we brought home some hardware. I got to say, man, we didn't come home exactly with what we wanted to have, but we was in there and we brought some hardware home, and I was happy. There's a lot to be said about the bodybuilding competition, all that stuff that I learned about this past weekend. I learned a lot about it, and it's a testament to the work that my man has put in. He put in a lot of work. So we went down there. We had a good time. Shout out to Riverfront Bar down there in Covington. Great pizza, great wings. I had a great time. It was a family affair. We went out there, we did our thing. I had a great time. Shout out to Mike Wynn. Keep doing what you're doing. We're going to continue doing this. There will be videos out on this covering the journey. You've seen some of those videos, but you're about to see the pinnacle of what we was trying to reach. And we got another event less than 2 weeks away, November 14th, down there in Beach Grove, at Indianapolis, southern Indianapolis. And we're going to go up there. We're going to try something real quick. Hey, we're going to document it for you. We're going to let you know what it takes to be a physique bodybuilder. So big ups to my man, Mike. Mike, just clap that up. Clap it up. That's hard work. That's a testament to hard work. You do what you want to do if you want to do it. So shout out to him. We're going to keep this thing going for sure. So this week, obviously, we had an election, and I told you last weekend that everything would be decided by the next time that you see me on this here show. Next time you hear me on this here show. Depends on if you listen to me on Spotify the night that it comes out, or on Friday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Depending on when you listen. Yet we said that a president would be elected, or there would be a president-elect. Well, it wasn't quite that. I stand before you right now. We don't know. It's about 8:22 Eastern Standard Time, and that's where we at. It might be a different time, because I don't know if I reset it on. At any rate, there isn't a decision. It's because of a few states. We'll get into that here in a second. But first and foremost, I want to get into what happened on election night. Election night, the first polls that were closed, it was like 6 o'clock or something Eastern Standard Time, maybe even 5, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it was 6. They got their first, the first polls came in, and obviously Indiana and Kentucky, they were the first to be like, oh, we been did this. We had this done at lunchtime on on Monday. We knew what it was. But Indiana and Kentucky did what they did, and what they're known to do is vote Republican, and we'll talk about those reasons on another episode, or I might get into it here on this episode. I am not sure yet. But they showed up. President Trump firmly in the lead, and he tweeted that he's firmly in the lead because he got 2 states that he just knew he was going to get. Now, we know about Indiana, we know about Kentucky, we know about the history. It goes back to the Civil War. Yeah, some people was for slavery, and some people reluctantly chose to be with the Union, although their ideology and their mentality had a lot to do with some Southern values, if you will. Back in the day, back when it was 13 colonies, back when it was North and South, that kind of thing. So Indiana and Kentucky showed out, and we had a show. Shout out to my dogs, Gotti and BG. Love when they come through. They started off with those 2 states, and then me and a homie, Lay Alpha, one of the president of, if you will, of Overall 99 ENT, the channel that I am currently on at this point in time, the hottest channel, the new BT. They pulled. We did it. We watched 3 hours of the debate. Well, not the debate, but we watched 3 hours of election results and all that. We started at 9 or 8:30 ish actually, but closer to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we watched till midnight Eastern Standard Time of all the results going in. I'm gonna tell you like this: if you know how to work a touchscreen anything, whether that's your refrigerator, your phone, an iPhone, iPad, any of that, a tablet, any of that, 100% you could do what I'm trying to tell y'all. All they did for 3 hours that we sat there and watched it beforehand too. We was watching a lot of the results and on all these media sites and all that. They ain't do nothing but sit up there and guess. All they did was sit up there and guess. They gave what they had and then said, but we don't know. We just got to keep waiting. So here we are on this here Thursday, November 5th, still waiting. The election was November 3rd for, in-person voting. And a lot of people's votes that were mailed in, they had to have a postmark. A date that said November 3rd or it wouldn't be counted. If it was after that, can't count it. So, yeah. I mean, he just sat up there, had a screen and was just doing stuff and pointing out different counties and saying, this is what happened in 2016 and this will remind you of what happened in 2000 with Bush and this, that, and the third. Like anybody could literally do this job. Anybody could do this job. Because they sat up there and guessed all night long. That's all they did was sat up there and guess. So that's what I did. I sat up there and guessed too. I said, well, Indiana historically has just done, red states. They did vote for Obama one time. They did that. He got the majority at one time. Could have been twice. I don't know. We just had to wait and see. I'll have to do some more research to tell you exactly what happened. That's exactly what they do. They sat there on CNN and said all that stuff. Just guessing, just saying anything. That's what happened. That was the result of all this. And I know people's up there stressing all Tuesday, like, oh my gosh, Wyoming. They're trying to figure Kanye might have the most votes in Wyoming. That could definitely swing things. No. They just sat up there guessing, and they still guessing. And I just thought that was so troubling to me. That was so troubling to me that they really paying them to do all the extra hours to sit up there and guess and keep people on the edge of their seats. Some folks talking about they felt like they was binge watching the election and it's new seasons every 3 hours. I mean, that's exactly what it felt like to me in my mind. Yeah, I felt like that. That's what I felt like. So they showing out with these pre-election shows and all this. They showed out, and they people are definitely tuned into them, but they're just keep on saying, "Oh, we got 4 more votes in. We're gonna go to one of our correspondents," and they put up the banner. They put up the banner talking about, "Oh, we got breaking news. 4 more votes just came out of Philadelphia. 4 people and a squirrel just put their ballots in. We just saw this." And they just said, they sat there and guessed. And I feel like I got a job in TV here. If y'all just sit there and let me guess all day, I do it. I sit there and guess all day. I guess on this show all the time. When we get into our sports segments, that's what I do. Is I bet on the unforeseen. I don't know. I just guess and give a good reason why I believe that way. Thursday Night Football, we'll get into that in just a little bit. So things have been hinging on these few states. And it looks like those main states at this point in time, at the juncture of me recording the show, Georgia and Philadelphia. Or not Philadelphia. I apologize. I am a member of the media. So if I'm wrong, I'm going to tell you I'm wrong. But Georgia and Pennsylvania are 2 of the states, basically if Biden wins, he wins. If he gets either of those 2 states. And Trump has no chance at that point. That's what they're saying based off of the guesses at this point. Based off of the facts that they do have, that's the best guess that they can come up with. And so, shout out to Nevada. for bringing back a little bit of my childhood. You know, I love a good drawn out battle. That's why I like Dragon Ball Z. And one of the most iconic and famous scenes in Dragon Ball Z was Frieza's famous Namek is going to blow up in 5 minutes. One of the most iconic scenes of all time. Yeah, Nevada's taking their sweet time. There was a point in time like that, like the percentage of estimated votes to be turned in did not move for like a day. Like they was like, man, we'll do it on Friday. We'll do it on Friday. That's the last day, ain't it? We'll just do it on Friday. That's what it seemed like. And I gotta say, it's keeping people on edge at this point because it feels like everybody's acting normal right now. Like, oh, we'll just wait and see. And then there's going to be, after they see what happens, there'll be a reaction to it. Okay, got it. And then down there in Georgia, so Fulton County, I believe that's Atlanta and that population, that's a lot of the Georgia population. They're waiting on the votes for Georgia at this point in time as well, but something peculiar happened. So the polling was over, but they're still counting those mail-in votes and whatnot. Okay, cool. Well, in one of those places that the votes, like the mail-in ballots were hanging out at, a water pipe busted on election day, where they could have been counting these votes and all that, but the water pipe busted. And here we are. We had to wait. There's a big delay on that. So that's just, I don't know if CNN, Fox, and all them, if they done paid for something crazy to happen. But some saying that the current mayor, the current governor of Georgia was last seen dripping, soaking wet with a bat, like Harley Quinn with that old hammer and all that in that bat. Why are you so wet, Governor? It's a hot day. Yeah, so we got that going on. So that was going on in Georgia. They're waiting for North Carolina. Alaska, I think they just put theirs in. They went Republican, of course. I don't know. Like Alaska feels like it's that one state that they don't get enough attention. So what they do is do something controversial so that the world is looking at them for once about something, because I just don't believe very much happens in Alaska. So they said, this is our chance. This is our chance. Let's take a long time, even though we're 6 hours ahead. We're 6 hours behind everybody else. We're still going to take our time. Took them 2 days to count all 12 people's votes, just like they did in Idaho. They counted all 4 of the votes that were there. And they took all day to do it. That's all that happened if you ask me. That's all that happened if you ask me. Shout out to Detroit. Detroit showed up. Michigan looked like it was Donald Trump's at first. And Detroit said, no, we have the population. And that population, they had something to say. And what the thing that they had to say is that we're going blue this time. We're going blue this time. Shout out to Arizona. They had voted Republican last time, and it's looking like they're going to go blue. And I believe it got a lot to do with all the stuff talking that Trump was talking about with what his name is, McCain. We're talking crazy about McCain. Now McCain is dead and gone. Rest up. I don't know about any atrocities or anything he did. He was a big Republican thing going on with McCain and all that. Matter of fact, that was when he was going against Trump. Going against Obama. And Arizona said we don't like that. But they still got they still have votes coming in. So we still watching for that kind of thing. Now, it wouldn't be President Trump unless he kind of drugged this out and made it a thing and made things bigger than what it is, and maybe he stretched the truth a little bit. He's been known to do that. Sometimes he stretches the truth. Let's just be honest. Or sometimes he just reads things and they sound good to his base, which he's clearly speaking to them. He's not speaking to the American people. He's never speaking to, hold on. Let me take that back. He's not speaking to all of the American people. He's speaking to his base. That's what it feels like to me. That's what he's doing. And again, causing divisiveness, all that kind of thing. That's what's happening when it comes to him. And he's saying, hey, stop counting. That's it. They need to stop counting votes because it's after election day. Well, in some of the states, that's not the law. If the mail-in ballots are post-dated for November 3rd and before that, they are legally counted votes. They're this legal. But he's saying that these votes after election day are not legal votes. Because here's the deal, Banana Peel. In order to push his agenda of coronavirus is not real, he decided to use that as a ploy to get all his Republican supporters to vote in person at the polls. Whereas from people that were Democrats, if you will, or most sane people, because even some Republicans even did mail-in voting. Biden is not getting 100% of the mail-in ballots, but he used that to in an effort to make it look bad when the Democrats and some of the people that just believe that coronavirus is a thing, he used that to say that, oh, there's mail-in voting. Oh, that's fake. There's no way. There is no way. Well, his setup, in a sense, is working because the landscape of the country, in a sense, is changing. And I'll get into that in a second. But he's using that right now. He just got off of the television, went into the briefing office in the White House, and 100% said, hey man, there's probably some cheating going on, and I believe that is some cheating. Well, what he did was directly undermine what it is for now. This is for all you people that's just all about country and God. Those people, this country was built on democracy, voting. It's a skewed and weird and warped version of voting because there's still the matter of the Electoral College. Like people that are in the Electoral College, you still have the ability to not do what your state said, do what you want to. All of this is projections based off of so many states, voting for one candidate or another. You have the responsibility, being a part of the Electoral College, to do what your state says. But ultimately, you hold the power. And guess who's in the Electoral College? That's right. Your guess is as good as mine. It's just as good as mine. So we don't know. We don't know who's in this. So we don't know who. Now we're thinking there might be some manipulation in the Electoral College and all that. But in order for this election to be what it is, the Electoral College has to, in a sense, do what the nation is asking them to do, despite their own feelings. If your state said that the Electoral College votes go towards what the state says, then that's what you do, 100% of them. That's what you're supposed to do. But if you believe differently, maybe you're in the higher up, maybe you're in that 1%, maybe you're in the people that hey, if you vote for me, I'll make your life whatever, because you care more about yourself, the well-being of yourself and your family, other than the people in the majority, in the general public. You may sway a different way. So that's something to keep an eye on. And vote. Trump is bringing himself into a space where he's trying to plant into the minds of people that there could be some cheating or some voter fraud, and they're saying that there's voter suppression. And I'm gonna get into that voter suppression stuff right now. There might not have been straight up voter suppression, but there are people that are protesting after the seed has been planted into his followers. They're probably cheating, and we don't have enough people watching over the people that are counting. I knew those mail-in ballots, bringing up all this stuff. So, people decide to peacefully protest and surround these centers where you count the ballots. People have decided to peacefully protest and be armed around these sites. Now, that's intimidation if I've ever seen it. if my job is surrounded by people that are armed, I'm not. But my job is surrounded by people. I'm not sure if I want to go in there. And HR and we'd have a big problem when I say, hey, I just couldn't come to work today because, it was people outside with guns. I didn't know what their intentions was, because anything can happen to somebody when you just walking around, people with guns. Stuff happens. Like you get shot in the back at a Wendy's, or you're a kid and you're playing around with some toys at Walmart. There's a lot of things that can happen. And that seems like intimidation to me, because that might actually be slowing down the counting of some of the votes at this point, because some people are like, I ain't going to work in there because they're going to see my face. These people are obviously already in a situation where they're trying to scare me and make me feel endangered. So that's a problem in itself. The intimidation factor for the people that's actually counting the ballots. They got to walk in with security, or you walk in there and you got a choice to make. Now, let's not forget, we're not just only human beings. You got to understand that human beings are, we're just an evolved version of pretty much every other creature. And we all have inherently a fight or flight response. Now, there's two ways you can go with this. And as far as intimidation goes, there's two ways you're going to go for it. You're either going to be like, yeah, I ain't going to make it into work today because it's folks out there with guns, and I ain't trying to be involved in that. They see my face on the way in, and they might come and see me because it's too easy to come see me because I'm probably a local person. There's probably people that know me, and they'll probably be like, hey, you miscounted the votes. Let me handle that. I'm going to handle you after the election. There's that part of it. And then there's the part of it, the fight response. Hey, I'm going to just walk in there and do my job, and y'all ain't about to do nothing. Or there's the other response of, who do you think you are? You trying to scare me? And I might just have to confront the danger that's in front of me. And that's going to cause a problem in itself too. Then people can spin it as, oh, he out there fighting peaceful protesters, and not taking into the account that somebody felt like they might be threatened. And if they don't do something now, they may not live. Inherently, every being, every creature, every living organism, everywhere, the whole universe, all on one thing. And if you've ever played Metal Gear Solid or anything like that, it just goes back to genes. And every creature, in a sense, just at its base, we'll go away from the religion part of things for a second. Let's just talk about just what it is to be alive. And that main goal is to procreate. That main goal is to pass one's genes on. Now, I know there's different kind of family structures out there, but at the end of the day, there's creative ways in a sense to pass on your genes as well. But at the end of the day, that's what most living beings are here to do, is procreate and pass on their genes and pass on their ideals onto the next generation. And if you feel threatened in that way, it's two responses: fight or flight. But you have that middle where you just push forward, not worrying about either one of those. That is just, it's not a threat to you. But when you feel threatened, there are two ways to go: fight or flight. Flight or fight. So, as a result of this, here's the next part of it. If Trump feels like he's being cheated and all that, he's going to tie up voting, just democracy. He's going to put democracy on trial. He's going to sue democracy, the very principle and value that this world, or not this world, but this country was built on. That very idea that we need to vote, and it's what the people want. The majority. What do the majority want? What do they want? And that brings me to the title of this show. Now, I've been minding my business. Okay, I did my thing. I went and voted. I did what I did. Handled my business and went on about my business. But here's the problem. My phone, I get another text message. Now, I've been telling y'all, I've been having issues Getting text messages with folk asking me for $12. Now, I thought it was over. But now, they want me to give them $12 to help them out in court. That's the last thing you were supposed to ask me for $12 for. In a country where black people are disenfranchised and illegally arrested and Kamala, as much as I love you, you know, you're responsible for locking up a lot of people. I have all the things that you're asking me money for to help you out with this legal stuff that we're in for a huge legal fight. Give us $12. I done told y'all about asking me for $12. I've asked you politely to stop. I said, stop, I'm not giving y'all no money. I'm not giving y'all no money. Now y'all go up there and do what y'all got to do. And y'all speak to the American people, and you hope that y'all the ones that make this happen. And change comes because of the words that you said. And we hope that you keep your promise once you get there. Now y'all asking me for court fees. There's a lot of folk out here that ain't have $1 to their name and was 100% not guilty. You gonna ask the American population for $12 to help you? That's my problem with y'all. That's the only problem I got with y'all. Quit asking me for money in a situation where I don't believe, I've not seen that you would give me any. Okay? There's a lot of people out here that are wrongfully convicted of a lot of different things, and here y'all go asking for $12 to help you out in your legal battle. Would you do that? Would you do that? That's what we need to know. We need to know. Would you lend your support? Anything? Would you push an attorney to help out some people where it seems like their case may be unfair? Would you do that? We haven't seen any of that from any politicians. So don't come around here asking people for $12. Stop. For legal fees? Of all things, legal fees? No. You can say, can you donate $12 so that we can help? Your $12 will help 1,500 people drink water today. Hey, I'm here for that. I'm here for that. Your $12 will help people that don't have homes. You'll help house 15 people. You'll help house 25 people with your $12. I'm here for that. I'm here for that. You know, they got some of those apps. If you donate 75 cents, that helps one tree grow. That helps. We will plant one tree for every 75 cents that you give us. We'll go out there and plant a tree. Stuff like that. I'm here for that. People need things like that. But to help with your legal fees, oh, no. Because the justice system and the fact that, in a sense, Kamala, that you was a part of, and you was a part of some of the disproportionate people being incarcerated. You had a hand in that. So the last thing y'all need to do is ask you to help. Ask us to help with y'all legal fees. Because Republican, Democrat, it don't matter. Coming from where I'm from, that's not something that we've been afforded any type of help from a legal standpoint. Set up to fail. Don't do that. Bad call. You should save that text for somebody else. Okay. Whew. Now enough of that. I like I said, at some point, this world is going to get into it. Let me drink some of this wine. At some point, we're going to get back on this show to do what we do, which is laugh and joke and giggle and get to learn about each other. And at some point, we're going to look at those commonalities. We're going to look at our differences. We're going to look at those things. And we're going to sit down and have a conversation. And my last point that has anything to do with politics right now is reaching out to somebody that you feel like you care about. And they say that they care about you. And you ask them why. Because when it comes down to this election, it's about who's representing me. How I look. If I were to say that I'm an American and I go to Europe and I say I'm American, do they stink face me? Do they automatically not give me a chance because I'm American? Because I already deal with those kind of things being black in America. I'm already dealing with those kind of things. Now, if I were to go to another country and I say that I'm American, and the first thing that they say is they start thinking about who our leader is and how that person has carried themselves in regards to, you know, just just humanity, period. That's what's important to me. And there's still that divisiveness, and this race, if you will, has really opened the eyes of everybody. And the results are going to show us, will the racist people or the elitists go back into hiding, or will this empower people that think that they're better than other people because of how they look? Is going to empower them. So this race has a lot of implications with it, and unfortunately, it has a lot to do with race. But I would like to challenge. I got some friends, and I look on Facebook, and they are devout Trump supporters. And what I've seen, because somebody that I know that, in a sense, in the time that I looked up to, they tried to tell me about me. And they said that perception is everything. How we view you, no matter what your intentions are, that doesn't matter. It's the perception that people perceive. And sometimes you don't get a second opportunity to change that perception of you. But sometimes you do. And that's where I'm at as far as the last 4 years in this country. The perception is Trump supporters tend to be elitist, that or could just be downright racist, but could be elitist. Not so much supremacist, but elitist, that just kind of feel like because I look, I'm more elite than you. And that's the vibes that I get from those are the people that are standing there, and they're all saying the N-word, the focus, all on. And then shout out to my Hispanic people and my people that's down there in the Caribbean and in Cuba and all that stuff. You know, they said some nasty things about you too, and that's actually been a part of this race as well. Down in Florida, some of that vote towards Trump was towards him, and they came from some people that escaped from Cuba to come to America. And the elitist attitude. And I challenge someone to come on his couch and just tell the truth. Tell the truth. Joe, you're cool. I like you. But as a whole, as far as in a sense what you represent based off of your skin and what you come from, I don't like that general ideal. But you are the minority within that minority that I can deal with. One of the good ones. Well, if you know me, I'm not one of the good ones. I'm 100% not. I'm a good person. I'm a good person. And I don't look at anybody in any type of way just because of how they look. I don't do that. That's not my thing. I don't rock that way. But I do rock in this way. I rock in truth. And that's what I would want somebody. This race is really close. If Biden wins, there's going to be a lot of people that quite frankly, I can't trust anymore. Because you're so about, if it's about the money, if there's some kind of tax break or something that's going to help you specifically, I get that. That's for you. That's on the passing on of your genes. That's a part of the survival aspect of things. But that's not what I have a respect for. I have a respect for people that care about everyone. Because it's like Aunt May said, PlayStation 4 Spider-Man. If you help one person, you help everyone. It's not about just helping yourself. If you help one person, you help everyone. And that's what I firmly believe. And if there is an individualistic ideal that's about you and how you're going to be good, that's not someone I can trust. You see it, they say football and sports in general is a microcosm of what what society is. That works that same way in the workplace. How many of you all have been backstabbed and done unfairly in the workplace? That happened because of self-preservation, not for the betterment of everyone else. I know me in all of my work situations, in my mind, it was always about everyone, not just the people that just want to stay up top, not for the people that just walked in the door. It was for everybody, because if I can have an effect on what that microcosm is, I'm going to do that. So if we can have a more unity kind of thing, well, the business aspect of it is, if this happens, then this person will have to drop. And if that happens, the person above them has to drop. And if this happens, then, and it just ends up with that one last person that gets to have that, gets that ability and gets that choice for their own self-preservation while everybody else falls below them. Tough conversation to have, but I'm willing to have it, because that's what this show is about. It's not about us focusing on our differences. It's about the commonalities and building a bridge through that. Let's not build a wall. Let's build the bridge, and then maybe we can come to have an ideal that works for everybody. It's just parallel. Everybody has the same ideal, and that ideal is peace and happiness for everybody. Let's get into sports. It's Thursday night, so that means that we got Thursday night football going on. So if you get a chance to hear this, you get a chance to pick a team. You got Aaron Rodgers versus and the Packers, obviously. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers versus the 49ers. Now, the 49ers are missing a lot of people due to some COVID, due to a whole lot of injuries. Jimmy Garoppolo is out. It's a lot of people out. But if I know something about Aaron Rodgers, with this game being a spread of 7.5, he just lost this past week to Minnesota. He's down 3 running backs apparently, but it's Aaron Rodgers. And then you have a weakened 49ers team, and he's supposed to show out, in my opinion. That 7.5 points, I'm going to believe in one of the greatest throwers of the football of all time. I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers. As to cover that spread. I believe he blows them out, because that's what you're supposed to do when you are in the GOAT debate, when it comes down to the thrower of the football. And he just lost. And last time on Dragon Ball Z, we put a lot of money on Aaron Rodgers coming off a loss to come out and beat Houston Texans the way they did it. Well, let's just say I got a couple of extra dollars now. So go for the Packers to cover that spread, 7.5 points. I haven't had so much luck on Thursday night games, but yeah, tonight's the night. I think we strike gold. Also, a bet on the Cowboys game. 13.5 underdogs. But I'm going to go with not go against the Cowboys, but I'm actually going to bet with the Cowboys. I believe they cover the spread. I think they play a hard game. I believe that the running game gets on track. They're playing against the Steelers. I don't think that Big Ben just takes off on them. This kind of feels like a trap game. This could be a game where the Cowboys keep a respectable score. I'm not saying they'll win, but I think they'll keep it respectable and say, hey, we can't overlook anybody. And and a lot of people are playing for their contracts next year, because football, they don't have guaranteed contracts, if you will, unless you're a quarterback for the most part. So if you're somebody that's playing for the defense for the Cowboys, you are auditioning for another job right now, or you're trying to stay on the team and keep your hefty contracts. So we'll see what happens there. Let's get into the spotlight. So this week's spotlight goes to a very key individual when it comes to the up-and-coming Indianapolis R&B scene. So this week's spotlight goes to Kambria. So usually we do this on Sundays, but I'm kind of done with doing the Sunday thing, because on November 6th, her album is dropping. It's called Wildflower. And I got to say, I've seen her in live settings. I've heard her music on Spotify. Make sure y'all go check her out. Kambria, Kambria. Boom. Here is the album cover. Check her out. November 6th. The vocals is mean. She's just mean on vocals. Like I said, I've heard her in a live setting. She can sing with a band around her at that. And she's been hitting the streets doing what she does. So make sure that November 6th, you got Spotify, you got Apple Music, you got all them outlets. Go ahead and give her a listen. You won't be pleasantly surprised. you'll just say this is what I come to expect. Very good music. The voice is beautiful, and she's not too hard on eyes. Wildflower. Go get that. November 6th, stream it, do all that. Go support. Big business. Big business. Now, ladies, if you're looking for a wildflower of your own, or maybe you just want something that's seasoned, then look no further than me. Head to ChristiansMingle.com. Look up Bartholomew. That's right, Bartholomew on ChristianMingle.com. I'm out here. I'm the wildflower. Anywhere that I go, oh, you know I'm going to grow. That's right. And while you're at it, you know I come to you on Spotify. I'm on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Every Friday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm on the YouTube on Overall 99 ENT. Holla at us. I'm telling you, it's the new BET. We got everything. We cover technology, politics. I just sat there and watched them folk for 3 hours the other day. Music, reviews, anime, all of that. Make sure y'all go to Overall 99 ENT. Look us up on YouTube. We are showing out, okay? Do you hear me? So, with that being said, this has been another episode of Do You Hear Me? We go waves. I holla.